Years old. I got somebody that had some mental challenges to partner with me because he was an adult, so he could sign up for a paper route. So he signed up for a paper route, but it was my paper route. He was my first employee when I was 9 years old, and that's how my entrepreneurial career began. So I'll share with you today just one tip on the power of one. The power of one. So many times we get overwhelmed thinking that we need to do 20 things or 8 things or 15 things. But I want to share with you, if you just focus on even just doing one improvement, the power of one can be so exponential. If McDonald's just improved 1% next year, it would add $300 million to their bottom line. Just 1%. In the NBA right now, the playoffs are going on. The difference between the team that will win the world championship and the last place team is one basket a quarter. I just came from the Indy 500. If a race car was 1% faster than the other cars, it would win the race by 2 laps. It would lap everybody twice. 1%. The power of one. So I want to encourage you today that if you will just make a commitment, you know what? I'm just going to do one thing better. I'm going to do one thing better. And to do something better, we have to be willing to do something what? Different. We have to be willing to do something different. To step outside of a comfort zone. There's a guy, anybody here eat at Chick-fil-A? I eat there a lot. I love Chick-fil-A. I'm a cellular health scientist, by the way. Help people get healthy, reset their metabolism, reset their hypothalamus, and there's no food that you can't eat. It's not about diet. It's more about what's eating you than what you're eating, by the way. But Truett Cathy, amazing entrepreneur, he was worth about $4 billion when he died. But Truett Cathy got his idea for Chick-fil-A, guess where? Laying on his back in a hospital bed. He had a restaurant, he's a restaurant owner. And guess what? Adversity happens, right? To all of us. His restaurant burnt down. And then his brother died. And he was depressed, and he's laying in a hospital bed, and he's wondering about his life and what he's going to do. And that's when he got the idea, chicken. I'm going to focus on chicken. And I'm kind of imagining in that bed, he probably was counting cows flying over his head instead of sheep. And he was seeing those cows. And they got this amazing idea that, hey, we're just going to take chicken. We're going to make the best chicken sandwich. And here comes a guy that out of his adversity decided to do one thing different, which was do away with his whole menu except for chicken. Did something a little bit different. Just one thing different. And look, everybody in here is, we're all diamonds, just some of us are disguised as coal. Because every diamond starts out as a piece of coal, and the only thing that changes is, guess what? Adversity, pressure, and time. And with adversity, pressure, and time, coal becomes a diamond and keeps imperfection, by the way. So none of us are ever going to be perfect. We're never going to be perfect. There's always going to be something that we're going to have to work on, have to have a challenge with. Everybody's got issues. So what? So what? So if anybody's tempted to be a self-saboteur, you know what that is, where you actually work against yourself, you let your own shortcoming hold you back. Look, everybody's got issues. Learn to say this simple phrase. So what? Now what? So what? Now what? Doesn't matter what's happened in your past. Doesn't matter what your issue is. Hey, I got a little issue going on with Krispy Kreme. I stalk Krispy Kreme. I wait for that little sign to come on, and then I move in like Rambo to save those hot donuts, from those shelves to get them out of there. Everybody's got an issue. So what? Now what? Focus on the power of what's one thing that you can do in your business or your life. What's one thing you could do in your business or your life? And speaking of your life, let me just give you a little communication tip here. Works in business, works in personal relationship. Learn to do this simple thing. Make a request. Make a request. Everybody's ordering food right now. Isn't it a lot easier if you just order what you want and leave it at that? You don't tell the waitress what you don't like, why you don't like it, the bad experience you had with it. Wouldn't that be irritating? But isn't that what we do in communication? We bring up something, oh, you know, you're always late, da, 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 da. You go on, it creates all these negative emotions. When if you just said, could you please be on time? I would appreciate it. Make a request with no drama, no extras at all. So whether it's in business, whether it's in a relationship, if you'll use that one tool of make a request, you'll take 80% of the drama out of your life. You'll take 80% of the drama out of your business. Because it doesn't matter what all the peripheral things are. It matters what's the most important thing. What is your request that you want to get done? And if you'll use that in communication, that's a powerful thing. The power of one is the most important thing. Because if you don't do one thing, you'll never get 10 things done. You can do one thing. You can. And if you do one thing today, guess what? Next week, you can do one more thing. And the next week, you could do one more thing. The power of one is an exponential, powerful tool that you can use. And look, the same thing works in relationship. You know, you can choose on purpose to use this powerful tool in business and relationship. It's the power to forget. Forget. On purpose. Hey, people want to knock Alzheimer's. You know what? That's a gift. That's a gift in certain ways, right? If you can forget all the negative things of your past, learn to use the powerful tool of forgetting. I was actually standing in a conversation one time and someone, when they walked away, they said, I can't believe you're talking to that guy. Don't you remember what he did to you? And I looked at them and said, I specifically remember. I forgot that. Learn the powerful tool to forget. The past, good or bad, does nothing for you. Nothing. Nothing. Your good things of the past, they don't do anything for your future. Your bad things of the past, don't let them hold you back. Don't let that be a thought in your mind. Choose powerfully to forget the past, do one thing, make a request, and look, same thing with your life and your health. I was over in Switzerland for about the last 14 months working on some big deals. 2 of the men that were with me working for a year got brain tumors and died. 2. Young guys, not old guys, young guys. No one's promised tomorrow, but it really drove home. You know, I teach people every day how to be healthy from the inside out, but it's up to people what they're going to do. But I'll encourage you something. There's only 3 priceless things in this world. 3. You, your health, and relationships. And you better learn, as I learned this hard lesson by watching people drop dead on my right and on my left, those 3 things are the things that you want to spend the most amount of time on. You know what? If we could pick up the phone and call Steve Jobs and say, how important is your health? But we can't, because he died with $8.3 billion in the bank. Because why? He didn't have the priceless thing of health. So even if it's just one thing you choose today for your health, one thing. I see a lot of people drinking water. That's good. That's a good first step. You know what? Drink a lot of water. The earth is mostly water. You're supposed to be mostly water. Do one thing that you can do. If it's walking, start walking. But I just want to encourage you today, this one principle is the power of one to be the best you could possibly be. Thank you guys for having me today.